some official dude that works at Jaguar, I can't remember his position, but he just said, Jaguar has no brand equity whatsoever. Zero brand equity. It barely sells any cars now. It sells a pittance of what they used to be. Jaguar says that they have a solution to this problem. They do have the wealthy backer who owns the company, Tata Motors in India. Here's what Jaguar plans to do to resurrect their business. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. It's great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see all the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel to all of you, and welcome back everyone else. And if you're new, we've done, I don't know, we're getting on towards maybe 3,600, 3,700 videos over the past just over 24 months now. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's supported the channel, whether that's through Patreon, through my GoFundMe campaign. If you want to know the details about that, I'll put a link in the description, or through becoming a YouTube member. It really has made this possible. It's been quite a challenge to do this, to try and share with you guys as much news as possible, give you as much insight on the automotive industry as possible, help you make the best, wisest investment decisions that I possibly can. But I've absolutely loved doing it, and with your support, that's how it's been possible. Jaguar Land Rover's design boss, Jerry McGovern, said the Jaguar brand currently has no equity whatsoever, and that chasing volume has led to mediocrity. They're basically saying the only solution for the brand is to sell very expensive cars, to sell not many of them, to make high margins, and regain brand equity, even though they have no equity whatsoever by selling expensive numbers of cars. Jaguar don't have any electric cars now that aren't rubbish. Sorry, but it's true. The Jaguar Electric I-Pace, which actually won World Car of the Year a few years ago, is basically a dead car. I consider a dead car a car that sells less than 50 per month worldwide. I mean, that's nothing. Well, we've got a car market of nearly 80 million cars a year. If you're selling less than 50 a month worldwide, it's basically a dead model. That is the I-Pace. One of the reasons that it's a dead car is because the reason it isn't selling is it hasn't changed at all since it was revealed more than 4 years ago. So Jaguar doesn't make the I-Pace themselves. They contract manufacture. In other words, they get another company called Magna Steyr to make that car for them. And they signed a contract, which was the death knell for the I-Pace many years ago with Magna. And the contract meant that Magna had to make no changes to the car whatsoever, obviously, and Jaguar just had to keep on selling it. That contract doesn't run out until 2028. Clearly the answer to making low volume electric cars is not necessarily just to get someone else to make it for you, because then you don't have any control over whether or not you're delivering a good product. And it's not a compelling product in any way. Jaguar says it's going to plan on doing what it's always done. I mean, with the I-Pace, it's done this already. It says it's going to target the 20 million millionaires in the United States. 20 million millionaires in the United States, they say, are willing to buy expensive cars from Jaguar that cost a minimum of $150,000 US. The thing is, you've got to produce a compelling product for that price in order for these 20 million buyers to consider buying your product. And Jaguar doesn't have any compelling products right now. That's the big challenge for the company. However, Jaguar say that they'll likely target only 24,000 to 36,000 sales per year worldwide, and that is how they will become profitable. They say that they no longer want to be the British BMW anymore. Now, I don't think they ever were the British BMW. I personally quite like the Jaguar brand. I think they have a cool logo. My dad has always talked about Jaguars. They're kind of fun, but truthfully, Jaguar's right. They don't have any equity. So here's what they plan on doing. They say, what we won't worry about is being loved by everybody, because that's the kiss of death. That's what put Jaguar where it is today, which is with no equity whatsoever. Jaguar has long been a two-model brand, but in the 2000s it was expanded to include more affordable X-Type and S-Type models. Some of those were made by Ford. They were just rebadged Ford Mondeos. Seriously. Neither of them met sales targets because they just weren't that good for the price. That didn't stop Jaguar from having a crack once again at higher volume segments with the XE and the XF successes for these models, plus the E-Pace and the F-Pace SUVs. Now the F-Pace actually, I think would have sold really well. It's a segment that's growing, that mid-sized SUV sector. However, it had so many electrical gremlins. Like read all these reviews of them. People were saying, hey, they're great, but actually driving it day to day, just problem after problem after problem. So that's one of the things that killed sales. Jaguar, though, wants to return to a smaller, more prestigious lineup. It wants to be basically a different version, or more affordable version of Bentley. That could work, maybe. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Jaguar actually referenced the salad days of the 1990s. This brand was incredibly successful in North America 25 years ago before we took the compromises and the decisions we made. A lower volume, higher price positioning is absolutely the right position for Jaguar today. There has been a 25-year void in between, so it's reasonable to assume there's a lot of work to build that brand equity. Under the previous CEO, Thierry Bolloré, Jaguar Land Rover ended development of a new generation XJ flagship sedan, which would have been electric, and announced the iconic brand would become a high-end EV only brand from 2025. Now, this could be a good decision here. Jaguar was saying EV only, expensive, 2025 onwards, that's what will save our bacon. Do you think it will work? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm actually really intrigued to know what people have to say on this one. The company has been tight-lipped, or it's really kept its details on these EVs close to its chest. It doesn't want to reveal information on them, even to investors. It doesn't want to provide any details. It has confirmed, though, that it will launch a 4-door Grand Tourer in 2025, so and yet another electric sedan. A bit boring if you ask me, a bit too oversaturated that market, with a range of around 700 kilometres and a starting price of around 190,000 Australian dollars. That's around about 130,000 US dollars. That's the starting price. I don't think that 20 million US dollar millionaires in the US would really consider another electric sedan. Now, if they were going to, they'd probably just buy a Lucid or a Tesla Model S or a BMW 7 Series electric sedan. That market is overcooked. It's overdone. That's what I think. Anyway, that's why Lucid are struggling. It's why they can't sell cars. They're trying to sell them to their own employees at massive discounts. They're basically calling up cancelled orders and just begging them to buy the cars and offering them massive discounts because it's just oversaturated, that market. Great cars, Lucid make great cars. That market, there's lots of good cars, but there's too many. However, Jaguar say they'll follow that car up by 2 additional vehicles, potentially electric SUVs, with the trio to use a new electric vehicle platform called the Jaguar Electric Architecture. This was previously referred to as Panthera, and Jaguar Land Rover had said it was working with Magna on its development. Now, I personally, if I was Jaguar, I would have called Tesla and just said, hey guys, can we use your Model Y platform? And can we use structural battery packs? I mean, heck, that's going to reduce our cost massively. I think people would have gone, okay, I'm buying a nice Jaguar Tesla, like a luxurious Tesla. I think that could have worked. But maybe that's just me fantasizing about something that I'd like. I don't know. Let me know what you think on that one. They will be built, these new EVs will be built at Jaguar Land Rover's Solihull plant in the UK, which currently produces the F-Pace, the Range Rover, and the Range Rover Sport. The company said this about the new designs for its EVs. When Jaguars appear for the first time, they need to have that jaw-dropping moment. Wow, Jesus, what's that? McGovern said. I don't think I've had any failures, and I didn't feel like having a failure with Jaguar, he added. Well, this dude sounds confident. Adrian Mardell, recently appointed as the CEO of Jaguar after serving for several months in an acting capacity, predicts around $250 million US in monthly revenue, or $1 billion per year, with a target anywhere above around $350 million US. However, the question is here, how long can Jaguar hang around? Currently, it's barely selling any cars. Sales of the XC, the XF and the I-Pace, as well as the electric I-Pace, just continue to fall like a rock. They've stopped selling cars in South Korea. They're going to pull out of a number of markets by the end of the year. All of Jaguar's current models are expected to be discontinued without replacement by 2025. The I-Pace could hang around, but it's so old and dated now that I don't think it's going to last much longer either, especially considering it isn't really selling. But maybe Jaguar have to keep it around because of its contract with Magna that doesn't end until 2027. Jaguar said this: "Our new EV will not be ahead of the tech curve. It wouldn't have that modern luxury, that future Jaguar vision, that drop-dead aspiration that we need to make this brand work." So in other words, Jaguar is saying they're going after style over substance. He said that's why the brand worked 30 years ago, 40 years ago. We have got to capture that for this to be actually cash generative and EBIT positive. So he had to make a tough decision. Personally, I think the Jaguar brand is pretty well dead and buried. Now, I love it. It's a bit of an emotional sentiment for me about Jaguar. I always loved the old classic Jaguar coupes, but I see this as the beginning of the end for the company. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.